Hi guys, and welcome back to the podcast. My name is Sade the Storyteller, and today we're diving into dating in 2025. Specifically, the difference between putting in the bare minimum and making real effort. I just thought why not make this a topic of discussion? Because I've had quite an insight or just had conversations with different people and just kind of seen their perspective. So I thought it would be a good idea to talk about it. But before I get into it, I just want to make sure that you guys are following the podcast, rating and sharing with your friends, family, whoever you got to share it with. That will mean the world to me because, hey. But without further ado, let's get into the episode. Whether you're texting, swiping, or going on a virtual date, knowing the difference can save you a lot of time, frustration, and heartbreak. I also want to share a conversation I had with my male friend that really got me thinking about modern day dating expectations. So basically, I FaceTime my friend. I was doing a little checkup, just seeing how he was, because I like to check on my friends from time to time. And I was just asking him about his personal endeavors, what's going on and stuff. And then we got onto the topic of dating and how things are really different and how a lot of people my age are struggling with dating. He mentioned how social media has really tainted our expectations. Many women expect men aged 23 to 28 to give them a lavish lifestyle. And when a man can't meet that expectation, they say he should date within his means. When he said that to me, I just said, wow, like I never really thought that women are going out of their way to be like, oh, if you can't afford this, then you need to date within your means. I just feel like that's not really fair, is it? And he also went on to say, like, why would you box someone in like that? Like, why would you put them in a box? Things are no longer affordable, and even going to like Gaucho's, Shard or Hakkasan is expensive. I was literally saying to him, like, I feel like, of course, I agree with his statement. Social media has tainted a lot of people's expectations. I'm not going to include myself because I'm not a part of that percentage, but I do believe that it has shifted our perspective, and a lot of women are demanding a lot from men, like, just first dates, take me out to dinners like Gaucho or Hakkasan, or them places are not even cheap. Like, I just feel like to just sit at a table and talking to someone you just met, like, surely that has to be really boring. Even Nando's is bloody expensive. Nando's, you could get a meal for like £8 or £10. Now you're spending 20 plus on what? Your mains, your sides, two sides and a drink is like £20. I just think that's a bit ridiculous. Like, he also mentioned, that women are also saying, I won't do certain things unless we're married. He felt that this puts a negative connotation on marriage, as it's the only reason they're going to marry someone, or the only reason they're going to do something is if that person marries them. Like, say for example, if that made sense, say for example, a lot of women are saying that I'm not going to get my boyfriend like so many gifts until he makes me his wife, or I'm not gonna do, like, I don't know if they're living together, or like, I don't know, cooking and cleaning, I'm not gonna do all of that if I don't have a ring on my finger. He was saying that I believe women are natural nurturers, and we're always going to do those things whether we have a ring or not, if that makes sense. He was saying that women are asking a lot from men because men already have that pressure of being the ideal traditional man. And I was like, that's all well and good, but I do feel like there's a lot of pressure on women. He also mentioned how feminism has had a toll on how women, conduct, or the way they maneuver, because a lot of women are now, quote unquote, more independent, or they're more tapped into their masculine energy. And he was saying how a man doesn't want to date a man. And I was like, lol, LMD, that is actually a silly thing to say. Like, that's so hilarious. Like, a man doesn't want to date a man. Well, I do think there's a lot of women winning in life. Society's definitely changed from back then, where women were just viewed as, a housewife. They weren't working, they'll cook and clean and feed the kids and do this. But nowadays, women are allowed to work. They are successful business owners. They're the breadwinners of the house. They're buying all these things. They can live single and not get, society's definitely changed. I feel like a lot of women have just thought, you know what, I just want to be by myself, like the men are not up to par and stuff like that. So I can totally understand where they're coming from, and I can totally understand where he's coming from as well. I also shared my side that the men in our generation, because he also agreed there's a lot of silly men nowadays. I just feel like there's no point dating if you're not being intentional, or if you're not like being clear with what you want. I feel like when someone's intentional just by how they set up a date, or just how they approach you if they want to take you out on a date. That could be either text, or that could be either, I don't know, in person, right? And I was saying to him, like, I'm someone that I enjoy conversation because I need to know the person I'm talking to. I need to see their thought process. I need to see how they, like, if I bring up a certain topic, how they're going to respond. What are their rebuttals? How do you see what I mean? That's what I like. So I told him that I went on a walking date. I don't know if I mentioned this already. Like, I went on a walking date, and I really enjoy walks. I just said, why not do something that I like? On top of that, he said he likes going on walks as well. He likes going to park walks. I said this would be a really good thing for us to do. So we literally just spent an hour in the park walking and talking and just doing like different scenarios, how we would deal with different scenarios. I just said I prefer this date better than sitting at a restaurant across each other, eating, stuffing our face off and barely talking. I feel like people need to just kind of call it a day. Like, it's all for show. It's all for show. Image gang, people just, oh yeah, I went to a restaurant, I went this. They just like the name. They like to show off because it says Gauchos. Or it's like when people buy designer, you post it because of the brand. Like, you're just showing off. I just feel like that's what people want. It's just so they can take a picture and put it on social media and say, yeah, I get taken out here. I go to Gauchos. I go to Mayfair. I go to Sexy Fish. I go here and they go there. And I'm like, oh, mate, get a grip. Get a grip. Get a grip. Get a grip. So I've lost where I am, but we're going to get back on task. So I mentioned that men are not courting women properly, not being intentional or honest about what they want, often soften roles in a way that makes them expect women to do more. It's not inherently bad, but it feels like some men are lazy with dating. Talking for weeks, but they're not asking you out, not planning intentional dates, just defaulting to a dinner as if that's enough. The point is, men need to be more intentional with dates. The type of dates can often predict whether a connection continues or fizzles out. Effort shows that you care, not just financially, but in terms of time, thought, and creativity. So what does putting in real effort look like? So number one, thoughtful texts and follow-ups, not just, you're just waiting for the woman to catch up. I just feel like if you're into someone, you're not just going to prolong it or long it. Like, you're just going to text them and say, hey, we still on going out on Friday? If she says yes, awesome. Number two, planning dates with intention. I feel like a lot of people need to try different things so they can see if they are compatible with a lot of people. Like I said, going on dinner dates is very boring. Try to go on park dates, picnics, pottery, painting, something more intimate than dinner. I just feel like dinner's a bit boring. Number three, remembering small details about your partner. I think that's really important. I think the first couple days of talking is crucial because you need to see if that person is attentive. Like, let's say, for example, oh, my favorite color is indigo. Oh, I like turtles. Oh, she says she likes turtles, so let me plan a date to go to Sea Life so she can see the turtles. And you're like, oh my god, I love turtles. Intentional. Don't you think that's intentional? Intentional. Oh, he said he's into football, he likes Arsenal. I don't know. Go and watch. You can go to the pub and watch a football game, or go to the actual stadium and go watch a football match with him because he said he's interested in it. Or do activities based around football or some sort of sport. anything they're into. I feel like if you show a little bit of interest, like planning, doing certain things that that person said they like, I think is very intentional and it shows that you're interested in them. Honest, open communication, I do think that's very important. Communication, I will say all the time, I always say communication is important. Benefits of effort: builds trust, leads to deeper, meaningful connection, and makes relationships more fulfilling. Even small gestures like remembering a favorite drink or planning a creative activity matters more than lavish spending or defaulting to traditional expectations. Here's how anyone can put in more effort without feeling overwhelmed. Number 1, schedule time to talk and truly listen. Number 2, send thoughtful messages, not just hey. Number 3, plan creative or personalized dates. Number 4, be consistent, not reactive. Also, notice modern trends. Dating apps, social media, and virtual dating makes effort stand out. If you're intentional, it's noticed and appreciated. That's it for today. If you enjoyed today's episode, please make sure to follow and leave a review and share it with someone who could use a little dating experience. Follow me on social media, so the Teller Podcast on Instagram, for extra tips. And next week we'll dive into, I'm not going to spoil the next episode, but stay tuned and I will see you in the next episode.